Let's do this. Let me scoot in real quick, get all happy. Halftime of the football game. It's a
Which
celebration of
which one,
Pittsburgh's.
bro? I got both on.
I know. Well, it's halftime of Pat Mahomes versus Belichick. So figured I'd go check out Pete Carroll not wearing his mask.
Yeah,
Um,
right. That's not my freestyle.
oh, let's intro in and get into it, and I don't know, have some fun, man. Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Proficient Fans. My name is CB, and with me is.
Clay Haggard. It's just not my favorite
Nah.
whiskey. Just not my favorite whiskey.
Well, I don't know if this is going to be my favorite whiskey, but I was out buying a bottle today, and I happened to look, and in the aisle there, I decided, like, I was like, this can't be good. I was like, the price was way too low. The maker was just like, I'm just like, like I was just like, do I just buy it out of like novelty? And so I went to the World Wide Web and what's that YouTube guys that we were watching there for a while that did the bourbon tasting. Remember their names? Anyways, they actually did a review of this and they didn't say it was terrible. And then one of the another selling point for me was the fact that New Holland here in Michigan did the brewing for this Pabst Blue Ribbon whiskey.
Interesting, dude. You love some PBR, don't you?
I am never afraid to try it. Now, T Rad, she quickly jumped on the taste, so I haven't even tasted it yet. Smelled it. It smells like tequila.
I'm taking a quick peek to see if I can get these guys' names.
Um, like it has been aged for like not at all. Like it's like
Whiskey Tribe.
Whiskey Tribe, yeah. It's as you can see, it's a clear whiskey. This is my first clear whiskey.
Yeah, I've never had clear whiskey.
I'm telling you what,
It's a good glass though.
it does have hints of tequila.
Taste it. Let the people know.
It's not bad. Like the aftertaste, I personally like, and this is the untrained palate. Keep in mind. But the alcoholic palate of me knows that this tastes like fucking tequila.
We,
So,
I feel, I feel like we've been drinking whiskey for like 80 to 85% of this podcast, and we're still like, yeah, I don't know. It's just called whiskey, and I drink it.
yeah, well, I mean, like you can't call it a bourbon because it's they didn't age it in like an oak, oak barrels or anything like that. So it's just a whiskey, and I mean it's not terrible. Um, it's not
Well,
it's not bad. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
will I buy it again? Maybe just for shits and giggles. Maybe I only have $13 in my pocket. Um,
13 bones. That is
um,
some fucking okay. That's
but
cheap ass whiskey.
like it was interesting. I thought, what better way to uh go into our anniversary, our 2 years, if you will, 104 straight consecutive weeks, 104. I can actually say 104 this week because I've been trying to do it for 2 weeks.
104 straight weeks.
Yes, episodes, and I thought, hey, try something new to go into the next year with something new as well as we try to progress this. Um, so not bad. That's my whiskey review on Pabst Blue Ribbon. Shout out to New Holland. I thought it was a gallant. I don't know. Not I won't say gallant effort because it's not terrible. Like I said, it's no Woodford.
Look at me over here leaving the ringer on. That's an amateur move.
Rookie move, bro.
That's a rookie move.
Um, so let's do a check-in, man. I want to check in with you. How have things been this past week? I mean,
Chilling, bro.
yeah, I
No, but like
good
good.
mind space
Like
though.
yes, yeah, no, good
Good.
mind space. Got things brewing. So for those of you who listen who I don't talk to, I am moving back to Kalamazoo later this month, which I'm super pumped for.
Oh, so wait a
It,
minute. Last I talked to you, we text back and forth. You're gonna stay.
I'll be back on the 20th.
Okay. I thought you were staying.
No, nope, wasn't even a thought in my mind.
That's what's up.
Headed back to the zoo.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll have to see if we can't finagle these in-person pods, man. That's what I'm excited for.
Yeah.
How we're gonna do it, I don't know, but we'll try and figure something out.
Certainly.
If
go
not-
ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no.
That threw me for a loop because like I was from previous correspondence this week. You kind of made it sound like you were gonna be there until January. That's all.
No, I'll still own this place.
Right.
I'll be renting this place through January, just because financially it's actually more affordable, believe it or not.
Right.
So I'll just have this place. If I feel like crashing in Fort Wayne, I know I have a roof over my.
Word.
And if anybody needs to sublease for 3 months in Fort Wayne, get at your boy. Got a spot for you with a low.
Instagram at Clay Haggard. DM me. That's what's up.
Man, but we're good. I got things in the works. Ready to get back home, be with my friends and family.
That'll be good, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Already got myself signed back up for X Golf Winter League. There's the shameless plug. Yep, 3-man league. I will be winning my 3rd straight championship at this X Golf location. It'll be 3 straight with Justin. This year we're inviting Benjamin Manmeat Green to join the team.
There you go.
And hey, everyone needs a ringer. He's going to bring in that nice handicap, get us a dub this year. 3 straight.
I like it.
About to 3-peat like Kobe.
I was gonna say you want a good handicap? Yeah, you call your boy. I'll guarantee you.
You'll be our sub.
I'll be like, yo, I'm guaranteeing you. What do you guys play? 18?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, no, 9. Sorry, 9.
9.
9.
Oh, okay. Well, I got you a good 56.
You gotta come in and do your handicap round. They gotta play 27 holes. First 9 in practice, the next 18 determine your 9-hole handicap.
Oh, right.
Because if you were to come in and sub cold, you'd be golfing as scratch. So, yeah. He goes, yeah, I wasn't that serious, fam.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like, yeah. I was trying to think. I didn't have much going on this week since the last time we spoke. Been pretty laid back. Got excited because I realized that I don't have anything planned on October 24th.
Let's go.
So pretty excited to go, be able to watch my Spartans play that day.
Well, I'll have to have a Sparty get together for kickoff, bro. You got to come.
As long as it's a day game, my wife has plans for the evening.
Yeah, and then Khabib and Gaethje fight at 2:00. Well, pay-per-view starts at 2:00, and they fight in the afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Dana White wanted to make the fights European friendly for viewers on the other side of the world.
Certainly.
So I can rock with it.
Who do you think? Who you got on that one? Early.
I hope Khabib.
Yeah, me too.
I can't root for Gaethje's MAGA ass anymore. Fuck him. You done fucked up, Ron. I can't get behind him anymore.
It's fucking nuts. Speaking of MAGA, that our president, after that debacle of a motherfucker, did you watch the debate?
No, I was watching. What was I? I was over at Cook's. I don't remember what we were doing, but no. Point being is no, we didn't watch it.
Oh man, you should have watched that shit. That shit was
honestly. So I kind of rewatched a lot of segments on YouTube.
Yeah.
I try and push through all of the childish behavior, to be completely honest.
There was no real topics. They didn't cover anything.
No,
like that's what was annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
My kids were even like, had it on and they were like, what the fuck are these guys' problem? I was just like, yo, I don't know, man. Like they were annoyed by it. CB was asleep by 9:30. He goes, this is stupid, and fell asleep. Channing 10. You know what I mean? Like they were just like, this is stupid. And it definitely was. But then our president caught the Roni.
Not
3 days later.
About time.
And like I
Not
know
saying that I wish ill will upon
yeah, I was gonna
anybody,
say
but like
not a political podcast, but like I
he
was just
had
like
that coming. Like
I,
just anyone who doesn't take precaution
or
has
believe
it
in
coming.
science.
Has it coming.
Like I'm sitting there and I was just like I saw some people sitting there saying like death things to it. I'm like, I don't like the guy at all. But death is forever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't get behind anything as for anybody dying. Maybe it's because I lived through the Biggie and Tupac era where it was like a mild hatred of each other. But um, death is forever, and I don't want that. I mean, he's got family that still loves him, even though he's a fucking ass clown.
He's got to be around
Um,
to see his downfall.
yeah. So, uh, it's just been bananas this entire time, and I was just curious what your thoughts were about the fact that the president has corona and he was anti-mask. Actually, made fun of Biden for wearing a mask everywhere he goes.
Biggest mask I've ever seen.
Yeah, like, and I'm just like, oh, like, well, that big ass mask kept him from the Roni.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get into some sports, man. We're a couple minutes in. We're not political pundits. 2 years in, 2 years of sports. We almost didn't have 2 years of sports, Clay.
We got cheated out of a lot of sports.
Like,
we're getting it back a little bit, but like the fans, man. I mean, I guess just kind of looking over the last year, let's say, of our pod, because we went into the new year, but then obviously very shortly into it, Corona hits March, and obviously that is still impacting the world.
A week before everything shut down, you and I are supposed to go watch LeBron James.
Yeah, we were.
And Anthony Davis.
Lakers Pistons in Little Caesars Arena. I completely forgot about that, man. Yep.
I'm never gonna forget that shit.
Well, it's the second time I've missed my chance to watch LeBron. So.
No, you're third.
Well, we actually went to that game.
Oh,
I purchased tickets 3 times and only got to see him once. Like go to the game once, and I've yet to see LeBron put a shoe on the court.
Right. Except for his dress shoes, like because he was on the bench that day. Fucking stupid shit. So yeah, I mean, go on. I'm sorry, I cut you off completely, but
no,
it's
I'm just I mean, if we're speaking to the fact that we've been able to keep a podcast alive, I'm thoroughly impressed. I'm like, I'll pat myself on the back for that one, because I legitimately had concern if we were going to be able to find enough content. I'm not saying every pod's 5-star, maybe one's 4.9,
right.
But the fact that we could keep it going, and the fact that we found some topics that actually have given us some of our highest play count.
Yeah.
Some of our highest play counts on our episodes were, some of them were during Corona, just talking about what ifs and like different situations and how it impacted sports. So, I think part of that's chalking it up to people like, listening to more things, being at home more, having time and stuff like that. But to still take the time out of their day, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, whatever it may be, that's still pretty awesome, and definitely an accomplishment.
I was going to say, Rona definitely helped our listen as far as our growth, I think, because people are like, maybe see us, post about shit, and maybe they're just like, well, shit, I got nothing else to do. Let's check out CB and Clay, and they're Clay and CB if you've been Sue's friends who.
Not apparently to how I type out our podcast information.
Well, because I intro, you outro, it's cool.
You know what? Year 3, I want intros.
Let's see here. What was I gonna say? No, I mean, like, but the fact that everybody, I mean, we've had significant growth throughout COVID, and even though things are starting to progress a little bit more, it's still not normal, but a little bit more normalcy. I feel like as far as like people are going back to work, people are, starting to do these things that they were almost regularly doing. The listens haven't diminished. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely as a podcaster, as somebody that comes in every week and wants to give out quality content, it makes me feel good that we at least got them. And like that's something I've always believed about our podcast is if you take a listen, I think we're gonna get them. You know what I mean? And I feel confident in that. So that's always been great. So yeah, thank you, Michael Jordan, for giving us 6 weeks of a show to talk about, and you carried us through the beginning of COVID. Don't say thank you. um, what do you know what? Let's get into some football real quick. I know we started talking basketball, but I do want to. I just want to kind of get into because just today we had big news, and I was getting ready to put it in, but of course you beat me to it. Bill O'Brien fired from the Houston Texans after 7 seasons.
Is that just your go-to? Oh, well, I was gonna write it in, but Clay beat me to it.
No,
I'm beating you to a lot of notes lately, CB, and don't you dare use my life against me.
No, because like when it came through, I was doing yard work and I noticed it, and I go, okay, I'm gonna get to that.
I was too. I just
you were doing yard work?
I took my gloves off and said, you know what, this is more important.
What yard work were you doing?
It's you
were doing apartment yard work?
No, man, yard work with grass and
yeah,
stuff like that.
Just trying to get my house ready for fall, or for winter outside.
My patio shrubs.
Yeah.
No, Bill O'Brien fired from Houston after 7 seasons. Why now? I feel like if they were gonna fire him, they should have just fired him after the Hopkins trade.
Yeah.
Personally, like, seems kind of like a weird time, but and the thing that sucks for Bill O'Brien was the schedule, because they're 0-4, so that's the first time they've started a season 0-4 since 2008.
Yep.
Which, now that I think about it, was Kubiak, who was their coach before Bill O'Brien?
That sounds familiar.
Anyways, so he's been with them for 7 years. First time they've gone 0-4. His record doesn't really seem like it's all that great. He's 52-48 with Houston. But the weird thing is he's only had one losing season, and that was in 2017. So they're right on that 9-7, 10-6 mark a lot, it sounds like. He's 2-4 in the playoffs, so they kind of dropped the ball there. But he's won the AFC South
Wade Phillips
4 times. Wade Phillips
for 1 year. Kubiak was right before that.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. So yeah, I mean, I just don't understand why they did it week 4. So week 1, they play Kansas City, Super Bowl defending Kansas City Chiefs. Very next week, they go and play Baltimore Ravens. Week after that, they go and play the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they just played 3 of some of the best teams in the AFC, 3 playoff teams. 2 of which are top tier defenses on top of that between Baltimore and Pittsburgh. So, it's just, I mean, granted, then week 4, they go and drop the ball to Minnesota. They let, what was Minnesota, like 0-3. Yeah. So, that kind of hurt them. But, it was a tough go at it, man. Like, I guess I just don't understand why start the season with them. Like if you're already if he's on the chopping block, why even give him 4 weeks?
Well, and if you give him 4 weeks, just fucking at that point ride the season out.
Yeah.
Hey, don't let him know you're gonna fucking fire him. That way, you don't lose your team in the midst of the entire season. Mm-hmm. I just think that I don't know. I think firing a coach in the middle of a season is always just weird. I mean,
unless it's like money, unless something which you know what I mean. Like, hey, this guy's multi-millions of dollars. He's not giving us that production. We got to get rid of him now and save ourselves a dime. I don't know if that's how it works with coaches.
Yeah.
But if it does, logically, that would be one thing.
That's about the only thing that I could think of that would make sense, because now you have a new, Romeo Crennel is is the intern, and that's what I said.
You said intern.
I think I came up with the M at the end, but it's cool.
The intern. 73 years old. He's been around the NFL for a minute.
But I mean, but the thing is, he's been a head coach already, so he has his own mentality of how
Yep.
he wants something ran. Now, I mean, if he comes in and turns the season around, good for him. I mean, that
Yeah.
I think that's actually him doing the what many would say is the impossible to change a culture
Yeah.
that quickly. And that's what I think about when you lose your head coach in 4 games or even a midseason or
Yeah.
anything like that. I mean, shit, if I'm on the team and you fire my coach with only 4 games left in the season, at that point, I'm checking the fuck out. Guess what? Hammy.
Yeah.
That ankle's been bothering you. I'm not finishing out the season because you've wrapped up the season as an
Right.
organization. Why am I gonna go out here and fucking bust
Hmm.
my ass?
Yeah, and I know that J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson and some of these other guys have kind of spoken up in interviews and talked about how things need to change, and like, you
Yeah,
know, they're not seeing the results that they're wanting to see. So like, I think, you know, there's subtle undertones of, you know, something like this isn't working.
right.
So, you know, I think when you have some of your superstars, you know, that are also just kind of like the vibes off, we're not winning. I don't like how things are being played out. You know, like at the end of the day, they're going to look at the head coach.
Oh
They're
yeah.
always going to look at the head coach when it comes down
Such
to
a
stuff like
such
that. So,
yeah.
you know, if they're saying clear whiskey, dude. So if they're saying stuff like that, you know, I do think probably in the long run, it probably was best. Was it the ideal time? Maybe not, but I think
Right.
getting rid of Bill O'Brien was probably the right call. Um, I mean, 6 full seasons, you know what I mean, and you're 2-4 in the playoffs, and you know you're just not getting over that hump. I think that's a significant amount of time.
I would have thought they would have got rid of him if he was
Yeah,
that close to being on the chopping block. You would have thought
yeah.
they would have got rid of him
And that
at
was
the
just
end of
kind
the
of my
season.
mindset. As soon as he got rid of Hopkins, like, and they were saying like the reason he got rid of Hopkins, obviously because during another trade they got rid of a ton of draft picks. I think part of that was Laramie Tunsil from
Mm,
Miami going to Houston. I think some of it had to do with was it Kenny Stills? I think Kenny Stills went over to Houston. So like
yeah.
I think there was Miami picked up a couple of their trades, and I think he was trying to get more, you know, draft equity and get rid of Hopkins and then bring back David Johnson. You know, I mean, I'll be honest, I completely forgot. David Johnson started his career in Houston.
Oh
He
yeah.
left and now he's back. Like that completely slipped my mind. And so I think he was trying to get an old time vet who might be able to establish a run game for Houston, get rid of a high end wide receiver, get a ton of draft picks, and kind of semi start, not a full rebuild, but kind of like a construction period.
Yeah.
And you know, after 6 straight runs of the playoffs, man, no matter how good, you know, you think you're doing, obviously, if the higher ups aren't getting what they want immediately, they're gonna kick you out, and that's exactly what happened.
Certainly.
So tough call, but probably the right one for Houston.
So you put a question down here. And I was kind of gonna let you get to it, but it
Oh yeah,
seemed I didn't see you directing that conversation to that question. So
yeah,
I'll ask it because you apparently have an opinion. Then I'll follow up. You asked, should a head coach be the GM also? And is this an example of why those two positions should have their own role?
yeah. So the one thing I didn't know is Bill O'Brien was the head coach and he was the GM. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that. So when he was making like he was ultimate decider on these like trades and these draft picks. I mean, like he basically was given control of like assembling a team
Hmm.
and coaching a team. That's a lot of power. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you can't do it, but that's a tough job.
Certainly.
That's a really tough job. It's one thing to be a professional at developing players and giving your opinion to a front office guy, saying on the field, this is what I see, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. I'll let you make
This
the
is what I
decision.
need.
Here's my recommendation. They were basically giving him the power to just do it however he wanted.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'll be honest, like in theory, that seems to make sense to me. I'm like, okay, well, if he's good enough, then that's perfect. He doesn't have to argue with anybody about drafting so and so here because he knows as a coach how it's going to directly implement into his system. But at the same time, you know, he had 6 years with Houston. I didn't see enough, we're going to say from the front office side, that he did that made Houston an elite team.
Certainly.
You know what I mean? Like, they never had an elite quarterback. Matt Schaub was probably their best quarterback.
I was gonna say Deshaun Watson's been there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think in Houston franchise history, Deshaun Watson is the only, and elite. I'm not saying
can't say elite, but he's closer.
Elite, but dude, he's great. He's a top tier QB. Yeah. Even with his like kind of struggles right now, he's still a good quarterback. But yeah, I mean, they got new pieces on the offensive line. They took away his most lethal weapon. They gave him nobody to replace it. So like from an offensive standpoint, dude, yeah, I could see that. You know, I mean, look at Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a Deshaun Watson, but Matt Stafford is what, top 6 in all-time yards or some crazy crap like that.
A week ago, 2 weeks ago, we just sat there and said he's a niche quarterback conversation piece.
And here he is. Matt Stafford, great quarterback. Yeah. Elite, you almost want to call him elite because he's so consistently good, but like you can't.
Right.
Like the Lions don't win enough for him to be
elite wins.
Quarterback. Yeah. So, but that's a good example because like it's somebody who you can sit there and say, if I put him on a different roster, will he be able to get more success with that team? And I think if you were to put Matt Stafford on, let's just say the Chiefs, Matt Stafford's going to have an excellent season, throw for like 6,000 yards.
I was going to say like the Chiefs, or if he would have been like in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you give him the proper tools, and he's at that point an easy conversation for elite. To kind of go off of the question there, I when I saw this, I was like, this is a good question. I actually like this question because of the fact that I don't like the idea of the head coach and GM being the same, because just because you know how to, like you say, get production on the field doesn't mean that you know how the GM, that's a money game. All right. There's a lot more to just more than talent with the GM. It's a money game. Right. And I could only co-sign on a person having the power of both those positions if A, they've been a head coach before and a fairly successful one, and then B, and I know I'm doing 1 and 2, but you know what I'm saying?
1A, 2B.
A, B, is the fact that they have just been a GM before. Okay, if you've held both those positions and you've done a fairly decent job at both those positions, then I am down to maybe co-sign on you being that. But just because you came in and you were somehow or another able to finagle your way into getting a contract to get both positions, I think for an owner is crazy because you gave up Hopkins. That doesn't make sense. Undoubtedly top 3 receivers in the league. And at the time he traded him, number 1.
Yeah.
So that's fucking nuts to me.
Well, unless you're getting good enough value back, which he didn't.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, like, you're looking back at at the trade. There was nothing there that was like, hey, he's a problem in the locker room kind of trade. That's what the fuck that was. That wasn't I'm getting a lot back on this one. Like run away in the thief in the night. No, he's just like, yo, this guy isn't vibing with me. He's being problems for me as a coach, and I want him out of here. That's all that was. That he should have been fired. You're absolutely right. Should have been fired as soon as he traded Hopkins. That was
collusion. Collusion.
Stupid. Let's get back into COVID.
Yeah, dude. Keep the COVID rolling. These Tennessee Titans are just hanging out with Trump, getting the Roni, which is that's they didn't hang out.
Sounds like they're in a red state.
I'm just saying if they all got COVID. Yeah, a mix of 20 Tennessee Titan players and coaches all come back positive. And this is since September 24th. So it's been a little over a week since, but dude, 20 people. They had to postpone this Titans-Steelers game. They're going to play that in week 7.
Yep.
Which affects the Baltimore Ravens. I didn't do research into how, but it affected the Baltimore Ravens somehow. Don't know how. Maybe their bye week's getting shifted around also.
I was going to say maybe a short week or something like that.
Could be something like that. And then the Vikings closed their facilities because they had just played the Titans.
Yeah.
When the Titans came back, I think 2 days later and tested positive. So then Minnesota was like, crap. So then they closed down their practice facilities. You have Cam Newton, who just tested positive yesterday morning. And there was someone on the Chiefs, but I don't know who it was. So then obviously that's why the Pats and Chiefs are playing right now. And it's just like, dude, what the hell is going on? Like I felt like the NFL was doing such a good job for such a long time. And then out of nowhere, boom.
I fucking told you this before the season started. I go, they disappointed me in the fact that they're still struggle busting to get this shit together before the season started. They have nothing. I mean, like, they didn't even give themselves enough time. Like, they were just like, here's the mentality of NFL. We are so big, everything's gonna go our way, because they didn't even have a contingency plan in place for if anybody was to get the Roni.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you had to scramble around and figure out. I mean, there's no extra weeks. We still had the Super Bowl planned for February, whatever. Yeah. Like, hey, we're gonna move Super Bowl out till late February for the just in case. And you just make that the lot, right? So maybe, and what I'll tell you what might even be better, because you're really giving those two teams that do make it to the Super Bowl a good amount of time to actually recoup, and strategize and practice and just be more prepared.
I almost feel like I would be more comfortable pushing the playoffs in its entirety back, because until all those teams play, they wouldn't have proper brackets, so you'd have to push the playoffs back. And if week 17 is supposed to end, I think it's like the first or the second week of
you're absolutely right.
The regular season.
You're absolutely right.
What you would say is, after our technical week 17 date, we have makeup games that week.
Yep.
And if you need to do it multiple, then either you do a short week and do more Thursday, or you give them a week and you do it the following Sunday. So you have 2 weeks set. Because, I mean, the odds of one team having multiple makeup games is slim. So you would just have a technical week 18.
Yep.
And that would be a finalized regular season.
Yeah. Let's say playoffs.
But I agree with you. Pushing playoffs back 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
Or maybe 3 weeks. So that way they still get like a break, for example. And then they have you know what I mean? That makeup week. They would have to do it that way. But I completely agree with you. Like, I guess I won't sit here and say they didn't have a plan, because I'm sure there were talks of what to do. They just probably were assuming they wouldn't have to take action. You know what I mean? Because as soon as it happened, they said we're going to postpone it a day and then potentially have to reschedule for another week.
Yeah.
But I won't sit here and discredit them to the point of saying like they panicked. I agree with you in the sense of, it seemed as if there wasn't an immediate saying like, Tennessee Titans have tested positive, coronavirus plan A in effect. You know what I mean? It didn't really come out cut and clean. But
I was gonna say, our fantasy league sounded. I mean, if I'm comparing our fantasy leagues to the NFL, I feel like our fantasy leagues were more prepared than what the NFL was for fucking COVID. Okay,
because they gave us an email and they said sorry.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I mean, no, I mean, just even like, I resort back to just even before draft. I mean, we had, a good hour and a half. I should have been like 30 minutes.
Oh,
but
I'm the other league.
Oh, the other league. Yeah.
I thought you were just talking about how fantasy
football
leagues
and
were
stuff.
just like sending out emails and they put COVID on players.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. We as a group had a better plan than the NFL. Agreed.
Yeah.
Hey, just a couple more Roni victims, man. I'm gonna get my draft picks for next year, and all y'all just get one more keeper. I'm good with it. No one can keep my guys except one. Well, maybe 2.
Right? You're like, I traded everybody I had, so fuck it.
I'll take my 9 picks in the first 6 rounds. Thank you.
Yeah. So I was actually kind of excited because I thought that there was going to be a Tuesday night game. I'm like, oh, that's so sexy. I'm like, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I gotta wait Wednesday, but then Thursday hits and I got football again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I mean, this is still good. Double headers.
Yeah.
It just makes it
So
tough to watch.
I guess my question then, so Goodell came out. Well, actually, let's rewind it. Let's rewind it back to what was it, week 1, and Goodell fined 6 coaches or 5 coaches $100,000 for not properly wearing face coverings, and that was Fangio for Denver, Carroll from Seattle, Shanahan from San Francisco, Gruden for Las Vegas, and Peyton from New Orleans. They all got a $100,000 fine individually, and then the organizations got fined an additional $250,000. Which, I mean, now at this point we're talking a couple mil, or just shy of 2. And so on top of the proper face coverings, they've also now, because of these positive COVID tests that are coming through, they're saying that there's a clear violation by these organizations. That's why Corona is now finding its way into the league. And so on top of making sure coaches are wearing face masks on the sidelines, now they're incorporating 4 new rules. That's going to be to require a longer onboarding process for free agent tryouts. They're going to have limitations on the number of tryouts per week. There's bans on gatherings outside of club facilities, and they're going to implement a video monitoring system to ensure compliance with these protocols, on top of all the protocols that they already have in place that we haven't discussed. So on the fines coming out strong, throwing haymakers right out the gate, I'm not mad at them. I understand. Week 1, here's the thing. We gave you guys rules. You didn't follow our rules. Boom. You're professionals. I already told you. Here's your fines.
Yep.
After that, everybody started wearing face masks. Point got across. You know what I mean? These coaches aren't completely ignorant to the rules that are being placed and implemented. I mean, even during Hard Knocks, and I know, we're trying to connect with what we know. Even in Hard Knocks, you could remember Sean McVay saying, these need to be worn by everybody at all times. We're going to do our best. I get it. So, he showed the human side of it, but basically was saying these are going to be mandatory during games and practices.
Yeah.
They knew far before. So as far as the penalties, power to Roger Goodell dropping a hammer. I think that put the message across, and there haven't been issues since. But then you'll see like Oakland Raiders. I'm pretty sure it was I know Darren Waller, and I think it was, wow, why am I blanking on the quarterback?
David Carr?
Yeah. Derek Carr, right?
Carr. David's
Derek
his brother.
Carr. Yeah, David Houston, back to Houston.
First Houston.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, sorry.
First
I don't
Houston
know why
quarterback.
I was blanking on Derek Carr's name. Derek Carr, Darren Waller, and 8 other Raiders. They were at like a outside of the organization like fundraiser, but they were caught taking pictures and doing videos with people with no face masks. Right. And so the NFL is like, yo, you cannot be without a face mask out doing things with the public and then going back into your facility. This is how, for example, the Titans end up in the situation. So they all got a fine. And so I know I've just completely spitballed and like word vomited a ton of different situations, but the whole point that I'm trying to get at and ask you is, is Goodell taking things too far? Are the fines too heavy? Are things like implementing video monitoring systems, is that taking things too far? I mean,
I'm guessing the video monitoring systems are within the facilities and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, fuck that. There's too much money on the line. And once, like you said, professionals. You are professionals who are, we've given you these rules. We have to do this if we want to make money. Because guess what, players? If you don't follow these rules and we don't have a season, you don't get paid. The owners aren't going to pay you. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, yo, you're for this many games. This is the reason why I paid you for this many games. No, I don't think he's going too far. I think it's I think this is probably one of the better decisions he's ever made. He's got a history of some, poor reactions to situations, like Ray Rice. That was
Yeah.
not a good one. I think this here is him getting out in front saying we've especially after the Tennessee Titans have had their incident, and now Cam Newton, like a marquee player that really, I mean, this is a big game that for New England to be playing right now
Yeah.
against Super Bowl champions. Um, and I just think that he's doing a good job about putting his foot down and stating we need to have a season. My job's to make a season happen, and I'm gonna do everything that I possibly can to make sure that this season happens. Because if it doesn't happen, it's not at this point. You can't put it on him. You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna have
Because
32 pissed off owners is what you're gonna have.
and all they got to do. But the thing is what he's gonna what Roger Goodell, what Roger Goodell could do at that point, is just fucking hold up a mirror and say, "It's your organization. I put the rules in place.
Yeah.
Let them fucking select."
Yep. Exactly. And that's why it goes back to justify his decision on these heavy bans week 1.
Yeah.
Like, guys, we implemented rules. You as an owner are allowing your head coach, the guy who's on camera more than anyone else other than the players,
right.
You know what I mean, to not wear a mask. He's constantly on television throughout the entire game. I mean, these aren't like first time guys. Sean Payton, John Gruden.
Yeah, I was gonna
Carroll.
say, yeah,
like
legend coaches right there. You just named off 3 legend coaches
who are known. Like, I mean, a lot of people are Pete Carroll, Sean Payton, John Gruden.
The Pete Carroll
everyone
one really,
knows who these people
are. I was gonna say the Pete Carroll one really threw me for. I was actually shocked at that one that he didn't have his mask up. He seems very hippie like and would be like, "Yo, this is the cause. This is, He seems to me that he'd be that way.
Well, he's in a commercial about wearing your fucking mask.
Yeah, I was gonna
actually,
say
it's about voting. I'm sorry, it's about voting.
Gruden, he definitely thinks he's above everything. I was gonna say Breeze, but
that makes me think of that John Gruden one where that Broncos guy catches that ball down the sideline, and he's like, "Yeah, what now? What now?" And John Gruden just goes, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
He tells the player to shut up. So I'm picturing you'd be like, John Gruden, he thinks he's better than anyone else, and him just clapping back at
you. Yeah, he probably. His thing is like, I don't. You want to know something? Because like, talking about like how the podcast has grown and shit. I feel like they got a sleeper cell at Fox Sports now too, because I heard Skip Bayless use the word cog today. And I go, nobody uses the word cog when they're talking about players and organizations more than this guy right here. And I'm pointing at myself, listeners. And I was just like, they're fucking stealing our phrases. They're stealing our content. I wish that pound on my desk here would have actually been louder. I even did it a second time and it was just as quiet. But I just I'm not opposed to going back to it. Fuck that. Get stiffer on these penalties. Like T-Rad, she was even just like, you know what fucking throws me for a loop? She was talking about after the Browns game yesterday, and she's just like, everybody was on the fucking field hugging. Hey man, great job. Da da da. Just like she's like, no mask, face to face talking. Hey, I love you. Great job. Da da da. And she's just like, man, that's just a lot of shit in your face.
Hey, this goes right back to the same argument you and I had 2 different weeks. Why are they not allowed to swap jerseys?
Oh yeah. I brought that up to him. I go, yeah, they're allowed to do that, but yet they can't trade jerseys.
And they can't trade jerseys. Right back to my first issue. Yeah. Frazier, I'm calling you out. You were the one talking shit about why you thought it was a good idea they didn't.
That makes
I need you to educate me on what they do on post games now is any better.
Yeah. It's just fucking nuts. She was befuddled by, like, she's already just like, I can't believe that they're actually playing football because the fact that you're so close to each other in proximity. And she's like, then afterwards, they're like face to face having a conversation. sweating and spitting in each other's mouths.
Yeah.
And she's just like, that don't make no fucking sense.
You could make an argument that the jersey will then potentially carry that back home, but I mean, shit. At that point,
get some disinfectant spray.
Here's
Lysol
the thing.
that motherfucker.
If you already shook up and talked to someone face to face with no shield covering,
you're already taking it home.
Taking that jersey home, like you're already taking. I agree with you. You're already taking it home at that point.
So, let's see here. 2 coaches, organizations, blah blah blah.
Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup.
We neither one of us had that.
Woo! All right. On to basketball.
Transition alert.
Or we can go to baseball if you want to tidbit baseball.
Let's go to baseball real quick. We'll make that real quick.
You didn't give me your picks, bro. You didn't see my screen right picks.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. So I was very disappointed because I was just like, all right, I'm gonna get on this website and put some picks in. Apparently, a day late, $1 short.
Yeah, I messed up too.
It wouldn't let me get in there. So
you're better than I did. I went on there to do it, and they had already started a game earlier that day. And I was like, oh shit! I didn't even know baseball started.
I at least got there before the game started, but
when I did my circle one is because that's when I actually thought about posting it to the pod, and I was like, man, I could have at least put something in our notes. So I went back the night I did this, but yeah, so we have an extended postseason this year, which is super crazy.
I would have had Tampa Bay. I would have had Tampa Bay.
So let's go through it. So now, just so all of you people know, all of the first round is done. They're all on to the division series now.
Yep.
But we're going to back up, go to the first round, go over who we picked, and then we'll go over who actually won, and we'll get into that. So first game, we had the Tampa Bay Rays 1 seed against the 8 seed Blue Jays.
I would have had Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I would have had Tampa Bay too. I like Toronto. I like Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yeah, he's nice.
Awesome. And I like Bo.
I think I follow Bo. I follow both those dudes on Instagram.
So I wanted Toronto, but I knew Tampa Bay was too good this year. So
is Cheats for real down there?
Dude, he's doing something right. Is it with Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
Miami.
Oh.
I think he's with Miami.
He's Miami.
Yeah. Which we'll get into them later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Tampa Bay takes over. They did end up winning 2-0 against the Blue Jays. It's best of 5 in the first round. So CB and I both get Tampa Bay moving on. Second one in the AL, we had 4 seed Indians versus the 5 seed Yankees.
No brainer for me. I would have had the Yankees.
I hate both of these cities, but at the end of the day, the Yankees are.
I hate Cleveland more.
I think I would. I disagree. I hate New York more, but you know how deeply that passion burns for the hatred of the Yankees.
Right.
And first of all, how crazy is it that Yankees are 5 seed coming into the postseason?
Which is
even with
bonkers.
COVID. Even with COVID, that's just bonkers. So they're a sneaky 5 seed. They very well could beat Tampa Bay in the next round. So next up in the AL, we had 3 seed Twins versus the 6 seed Astros. I picked the Twins. 1, I thought they were better. And 2, I just forever at this point cannot be an Astros fan. Plus with them losing Verlander, I thought that would hurt their pitching staff enough. But clearly I was wrong. Who'd you have?
I would have had, just because of seeding, I would have chosen the Twins.
Yeah.
I started like a motherfucker there, but I would have had the Twins. Just because of seeding at that point. Maybe my hatred for Houston would have really overruled that. But I am still very surprised in that the fact that Verlander's not around, which I don't know if we ever really talked about. He actually he's getting Tommy John surgery. I know you and I talked about it. I don't know if we talked about it in the pod here, but I was just like, man, I'm like, they say it lengthens your career. He could end up back in Detroit to finish it all off, and we could actually have a very strong Justin Verlander coming back in.
What have I been saying?
A couple of years. So.
And you know what's real crazy about that too?
And it'd be crafty.
Is I think I'm going to maybe not right this second, but I want to buy a Verlander Tigers jersey, just in case for the fact if he does come back, I need that low price.
Oh, word.
Plus, get that even with Cabby, who I already have a jersey of his, Verlander is still my number 2 Tiger, like of all time for me. So like
all time.
I'm
Lou Whitaker.
Yeah, I mean all greats, but like.
Oh, mine's Lou Whitaker, but I don't have his jersey, but I have Pudge.
If I got any old school Tiger, it would be Ty Cobb.
Good old fashioned racist, I get you.
Oh my god. Wait. You're mixed, Stevie? Oh my! 2 years of my life wasted.
Right? No. Ty Cobb's legit. That's a good one, especially for Tiger history.
Tiger history and Black American history. Right. Good to know. Anyways, Ty Cobb, final answer.
I got a Pudge jersey and I got stains all over it from mustard and everything else I ever got on that motherfucking jersey when I went to a game.
Back to the postseason. I'm sorry, we got a little sidetracked. So last matchup we had in the AL, 2-seeded A's versus the 7-seeded White Sox. And I picked the White Sox on this one, even with that seeding difference. Well, dude, the White Sox were one of the hottest teams in baseball at one point.
Yeah.
They just went on a crazy losing streak at the end of the season, which completely dive-bombed them in seeding.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like my good buddy Dave Weirs is a huge A's fan. Other than that, I've played the A's enough in the postseason with like being a Tigers fan. Like I just kind of have a thing for the A's in the postseason. Like
I got a respect for the A's in the postseason.
And here's my other thing is Chicago
There's never
White
a reason
Sox.
Why they're there.
I don't like the White Sox at all. I just honestly thought that they could have beaten the A's in 5. And I was
you there?
Yep. So you would have taken the A's.
I left you. Yeah, I would have picked the A's. I just think that David Frost is that GM now. Or now he's been for a while, but they have just always sneakily been good. You know what I mean? Like they're quiet all season. Basically they do that Billy Bean baseball. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, just get on base. We use the fucking math and we'll get on. You know, I mean, because ever since the Bash Brothers, that era, that's all they've been. It's just a bunch of, quiet baseball players, and they're in the. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember them more in the playoffs than I do a lot of teams. You know what I mean?
The A's,
yeah. That don't win. They don't win the playoff. They don't win the World Series. But
I always think Yankees, Red Sox, Cardinals, like those three.
I'm talking about like I guarantee. I mean, at least first round you see the fucking A's.
Yeah, no, a lot. See the A's a lot. I agree with you. Weaker division.
Yeah. So, but I would have had the A's on that one.
So you would have been
finish out this side here?
You would have been 3 of 4 then.
Yeah.
On the AL, I was 2 of 4. So, and then on the NL, we have the 1 seed Dodgers versus the 3 seed Brewers, and I obviously took Dodgers.
This one broke my heart because I love oh shoot, now I can't think of his name. Christian, how do I say this? Ellich, thank you. And I love that kid. I think he's fucking fantastic. But
I wanted to pick the Brewers too, dude, but the Dodgers are too
good. Are too fucking good. Too good. So I mean, I definitely would have chosen the Dodgers, but I mean, this series broke my heart to see this happen so soon.
Which the Dodgers advanced, so we both would have had that one right. So Rays advance, Yankees advance, Astros advance, A's advance. Dodgers advance over the Brewers. Next one, we would have had the Padres and the Cardinals.
I would have picked the Cardinals.
Yeah, I actually had the Padres, mostly because of Tatis Jr., dude.
He's so nice.
He's so
nice. He's so nice.
Beast. I love
his back killing it. He's killing the postseason.
And honestly, the Padres are just one of those teams that they're so hot right now.
Yeah.
Like, baseball is one of those sports where, like, you don't have to be a number 1 seed to be dominant.
Certainly.
Like, you can see 4 seeds, 5 seeds, 6 seeds still play top-notch baseball. I'm riding the Padres bandwagon, and also, me, fuck the Cardinals all day. Do not like the Cardinals. Not a Cardinals fan.
Fuck the Cardinals.
So I picked Padres. Padres get the dub. They advance, which is awesome. Next up, we had the 3-seeded Cubs against the 6-seeded Marlins.
Here's Jeter.
Yeah, I would have taken the Cubs. And yes, Jeter. What is he doing in the Marlins organization? Do you remember his
I feel
title?
he's the president.
I thought he was like a talent. Is he the president? He very well could be.
DM, Chief
General
Executive
Manager,
Officer of the Marlins.
CEO.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways,
Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter.
I would have had the Cubs beating the Marlins, but the Marlins definitely upset the Cubs. Who would you have picked before Derek Jeter, all that stuff? Because I don't think you would have thought of Derek Jeter picking your team.
No, Derek Jeter wouldn't be the reason why I would pick the Miami, and I wouldn't have picked Miami. I would have picked the Cubs.
Yep, we both take the L there. Kudos to the Marlins. I mean, we'll see how far they can pick or how far they can go, but I wouldn't have them going too far because I have them losing to the team I picked in the next series. We have the 2-seeded Braves against the 7-seeded Reds. I, with confidence, am picking the 2-seeded Braves.
Yep.
Who ended up winning? Is that who you would have taken also?
Yeah, certainly.
Sure.
Yeah.
So going in reverse order, in the NLDS, one of the two matchups, we have the Marlins versus the Braves. Now, I definitely have the Braves winning this, and reason why is because I have the Braves going to the World Series this year. I have them going all the way. I'm that confident in their ability right now. Kuna Jr. is one of the most fun guys to watch in the MLB. I think the Braves are just I've seen them working their way up over the last 2-3 years, and I just think they're too strong this year, man. I really think they're going to do big things.
If I'm gonna ride an upset wave, I think I'm gonna ride this Miami upset wave.
Marlins over the Braves.
Yeah. On this one here. Okay. I mean, they came out and beat a number 3 Cubs.
Sure.
You know, I'm not. I don't. As good as the Braves are, I don't think they're head and shoulders above the Cubs.
Sure.
You know, I think that I don't know. I'm gonna go Miami on this one.
Okay. The other NLDS game, we have the Dodgers versus the Padres.
Magic Johnson's winning.
So CB goes Dodgers. I would love to go Padres here. The fan in me wants to see Padres. I just don't know if the Dodgers will drop this one. I know they've had postseason woes. We've seen Kershaw come up short in the World Series multiple times.
Don't make him your ace. Don't make him the ace pitcher.
I know, right?
Make him your fucking third.
But you know what? I'm not gonna ride the bandwagon. I think Dodgers end up beating the Padres. But I think it goes deeper into the series than people think. I think they'll go 6 or 7.
6 or 7 is a fair assessment right there.
Yeah. Moving on over, we have the Rays and the Yankees. See now, like,
you know what?
What?
5 or 6. I don't think 7's I just don't think the pitching is there in San Diego to actually keep up with the bats that are in LA.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I would say 4 or 5.
So if you're talking upsets, Marlins over Braves, I think if you're going off seeding, I think the Yankees over the Rays are probably going to be one of the most guaranteed.
That's going to be a really good fucking matchup right there.
Because I'll tell you what, even though I fucking despise them, I'm going Yankees over Rays.
Got to go Yankees.
I said Yankees were going to the World Series before the season started. COVID doesn't change that roster.
Here's what we need. Here's what sports needs. Yankee fans. Somebody to be angry at.
There's tons of them. Ben Green is a Yankees fan. Be mad at Ben.
No, I know. No, I'm not mad at Yankee fan. I don't mind the Yankee fan because I'm a Tiger fan. So we're not even in this fucking conversation. So I enjoy like the anger that a Yankee fan gets out of everybody else in baseball. You hate the Yankees. You hate the Yankees. You're a Tiger guy. I don't know why you hate the Yankees so bad, but you hate the Yankees.
I've told you this. I've told you before why I don't like them. Childhood friends only liked the Yankees because of Derek Jeter, and they didn't have a legitimate reason to be a fan of an organization.
I don't remember you telling me that, but that's respectable.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, who else do you like on the Yankees? Like, oh, well, Jeter, that's it. He's my favorite player. Why? Because he's from Kalamazoo. That's it. So you just like the hometown guy.
Well, I would respect somebody that liked the Yankees because of Derek Jeter. Because I rooted for him to win World Series. But then you knew who the fucking team was, though.
Exactly.
You
Ben Green knew the farm system. Baseball, you know how we are with football. Now, you know what? I'm not even going to give you that credit. You know how I am with football. You know how I am with the NFL. I live and breathe that shit. Ben Green.
For those of you that aren't watching the YouTube video, I'm making a crazy face at this kid.
You don't want to test me. You don't want to test my knowledge to your knowledge, fam. You don't want that smoke. Just know hey, you have the NBA. Always and forever. I love you forever, CB.
I will. Okay.
You'll always have the ball and hoop. You'll always have the ball and
hoop. I'll let you slide.
You ain't gonna let nothing slide. There ain't nothing you can do.
No, I mean, I'm not saying like in a disrespectful way. I'm like, yo, like, I'm gonna let you slide on this because, like, yo, I mean, you know what? Like, if I compared like my basketball to your basketball, and you know, and I would have to say that I have a higher basketball IQ.
That was very humble of you to put it that way. Thank you.
And I realized that, you know what? I think that you know your NFL team better than I've probably known anybody to know their NFL team.
See, I'm fairly confident that I know the NFL, though. I'm pretty good with the league. Not perfect, not by any means. I couldn't name you the front office of all 32 organizations.
Certainly.
But I'm pretty good with my players.
I'm trying to show you some respect, man. Like I'm trying not to.
Hey.
Like I'm not gonna let you shit on me, man. Like,
he goes 104 weeks of standing up for myself. I'm not gonna give in now. Anyways, back to baseball. Back to the boring sport. Even though I loved playing it way more than football. But yeah, no, Yankees over Rays. Who do you got?
Oh, Yankees.
Okay. Last one in the ALDS, we got the Houston. You got the Astros versus the A's. 2-seeded A's, 6-seeded Astros. That's the same 2 6s. Braves, Marlins. CB, who you going with? You going with the cheaters, or you going with the money ball?
I'm going money ball.
The A's, the Oakland Athletics beating the Houston Astros.
Yeah. Well, because they can't cheat, so
they have seen a decline in performance. They're a 6th seed.
Yeah.
I am. You know what? I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon with you. I'm going A's.
I thought you say I'm riding the cheating train. Let's go. Woo,
they lost Verlander. They you know what? They lost Verlander. Without JB, they can't go that far.
They don't got a pitching like that because they had pretty much. I mean, at a 6, I guess you didn't necessarily have it clinched that you're making the playoffs. But by the time Verlander was out, it was pretty much a sure shot that you're in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, just about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Close too, you know.
Yeah. So let's fast forward. NLCS. I have Dodgers Braves, and you have
the Braves.
you have Dodgers Marlins, correct?
Uh-huh.
I
have Dodgers.
I'm taking my Braves over. I'm taking the Braves over the Dodgers to make it to the World Series. It sounds like you just picked the Dodgers over the Marlins.
Yeah.
For that matchup, I would agree with you. So just out of curiosity, what do you think Dodgers Braves 1-2? Are you still that confident in Dodgers, or is that?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, like, it's the past. We've been doing this podcast for 2 years now, and for 2 years they should have won the World Series.
That's so. I don't know, dude. That Red Sox team was legit, though.
No. For 2 years, that Dodger team should have won a World Series.
Bro,
they did nothing but get better.
Price. He's twirling Mookie Betts.
And now the Dodgers got Mookie Betts. So, I mean,
yeah, right. Good. Oh, that's funny.
So, for 2 years, I believe that this Dodger team should have won a World Series, and I think that this is going to be their year, really.
Because they have Mookie Betts. That's it.
It doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt. It 100% doesn't hurt. You are correct. So on the AL, it sounds like we both have Yankees. We both have A's.
Yankees win that one. Moneyball doesn't go so far, and I don't think it's gonna get you a World Series in this year.
You talking about polar opposites? Moneyball versus pay them whatever the hell they want.
You know what would be cool though? I'll be honest though. What would be really cool though is to get that straight California
Yeah.
Because that
East Coast,
Herschel.
West Coast.
Oh man, it was what was it? Herschel Walker and Dennis Eckersley and Dave Stewart those years. Which game did you just watch?
Pick six Chiefs. I just want the Pats to lose. I don't need to explain myself.
Hey, look at it. Oh shit, what's his little nickname?
Edelman?
The USC kid that was the DB. What was this fucking? Used to be on the Cardinals.
You talking about Tyrann Mathieu?
Yeah.
Tyrann Mathieu?
What was his?
He went to LSU.
Oh, it was LSU. You're right, LSU.
Hey,
but what
NFL.
was his? I know, right? What was his? What was his nickname though? What's his nickname?
Honey Badger.
Honey Badger. That's what I was looking for. Hey, I want to keep on calling him Golfer.
Hey,
Gopher.
Hey, you have the NBA. You have the NBA.
That's what's up. Where are we at? World Series.
World Series. Oh, so I haven't picked. I also think that the Yankees will beat the A's. And I'm pretty sure, CB, maybe I might have said Yankees Dodgers actually. Might have said Yankees Dodgers, but I know I jumped on that Braves bandwagon pretty early. Yankees Braves World Series. Braves take it. World Series champs. And then they changed their name.
I am finally gonna get the Yankee
Dodgers
World Series that I've fucking calling for 2 years.